Hello, this is Father David on the second Thursday of Great Lent. It's going to be piggybacking on yesterday's video, a lot of these themes. Father Stephen begins reading out of Isaiah, the Vespers reading. In Lenten daily Vespers, we have a reading from the prophet. And the prophet Isaiah speaks about when King Uzziah died, I was in the temple and I saw the Lord. And he says, "Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips." And then he remembers the Apostle Peter, who after Jesus spoke to the fish that were around the fisherman Peter's boat, and they all came in after a night of catching nothing, Peter sees the great power of the God-man and says, "Depart from me, O Lord, for I am a sinful man." And again he says, "I think of the publican who could not lift his face before the Lord's earthly throne in the Jerusalem temple," which we read as the gospel prior to Great Lent. Moses, who hid his face before the burning bush, and at the transfiguration, Peter, James, and John fell and hid their face from the light that was shining forth from Christ. In Orthodox Christianity, having an encounter with Jesus Christ is, at the same time, something eminently desirable, something we should all strive for, something we should all move towards, but something that we should also respect with a real fear and trembling. Fear in the sense of awe, respect, understanding that it is, in fact, something that could lead to our great undoing, as Isaiah said. "Woe is me, for I am undone. I am unmade. I am deconstructed. I have been broken down into my most basic parts and motivations and trauma and history, and everything has been laid bare. And I am here in the broken ruins of my own existence. And I see the only one who can show me how I am to be built and made new, renovated, and rebuilt." This kind of an encounter leaves very little room for judging other people. It isn't that Orthodox Christians do not have a sense of right and wrong, or that we should be stupid or naive when someone is trying to get away with murder or exploit the needy, the poor, the innocent. We have the obligation, if it is defense of the innocent, to discern right and wrong, but judgment of the inner motivations of another person is for God alone. It's to him to undo that other person as he undoes Isaiah and St. Peter and ideally us. Father Stephen again mentions what we mentioned yesterday, unseen warfare, and where there is the writer within this work says, "Since we value and think of ourselves so highly, we naturally look at others from on high as if from a judgment seat. We judge and despise them, for we seem to ourselves far removed from such faults as we think others possess." And Father Stephen says, according to the spiritual classic, this interplay between self-love and condemnation of others becomes inextricably habitual, for one of them fuels the other. And it's hard to get out of that feedback loop, in other words. Such unending interplay opens the door to the evil one, who craftily suggests, these authors say, that we need to, quote, "keep a sharp watch for what others say and do." And then the reflection, my focus on others' faults simultaneously feeds my ego and prevents me from correcting my own sins. Let me enter the labyrinth of my own thoughts and feelings to make necessary corrections. So may we have the strength to enter into that deep and complicated labyrinth and maze of our own hearts and those darkened corners that really require our attention, and not busy ourselves with the sins or the comments of other people, so that we would accomplish the goal of spiritual fruit within Great Lent that's pleasing to God. May God bless you. Lord willing, we'll see you next time.